Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 140th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for October 20th, 2020. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'm joined with co-hosts Azar and John. Thank you very much. And I think we're ready to begin today's workshop with the Universal Council. And do we have a member of the Universal Council to begin today's workshop, please?
Yes, good morning and good afternoon wherever you are. This is Azar, you say Farsi. So this platform, to use a platform, is a platform where we share knowledge, and all the knowledge seekers come in and what they learn from Mr. Keshe on Thursdays and with what they understood, they can bring the knowledge to this platform and share with the rest of humanity. As well, this platform is for UC members to bring their understanding and their ways of how they're going to take humanity to this transition time and going from the present moment, present situation on planet Earth to the point that in totality, we become one planet, one nation, one race. So I read this for you under what is on the screen that gives us understanding where we're going. One planet, one nation, one race for world peace. Through the beauty of the soul of diversity of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are as equal and all are as creators, as they are created in the image of the Creator. So do we have next slide, Rick? I think at this point, I don't know who is present here who wants to go to the invitation to Linz Austria exhibition. Is it Caroline here or?
Yeah, I can't see.
You can do it. You want to do it? Okay.
So I can do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, this is Marie. I'm a Universal Council representing Norwegian language. So everyone is invited to the great exhibition in Linz in Austria. So we announced it for a while now, but it's still going, and the fields are building up as we can hear, or we have heard that the fields are building up. So all knowledge seekers, I guess, want to go to Austria this autumn. Yes, there is a link there where you can buy your ticket. I think it's €100 as an entrance, but that's like a one time, as I understood. And all Austrian citizens can go for free. You just have to bring some papers to show that you are from Austria. So it's a great exhibition, and all the latest products from Keshe Foundation is here. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, I wonder if Stefania is available.
I don't see her here yet.
No. Okay, so this is a slide made for the new it's called One City, One Center, and it's introduced by Mr. Keshe, and it's the enhancement, the universal body enhancement system that we wish to place around the world, equally distributed. And to do that, you can send your email to, for instance, the Universal Council. And you have to provide some medical professionals, like a doctor. I think a doctor is, you have to have a doctor, but also nurses and other medical professions. You have to provide a location that is suitable. If you have 1 unit or if you have 12, I think that's, so then it's a center, so it needs to be available. And the most, maybe the latest point is that you have to fund this machine. But as we heard from Mr. Keshe, he will match what is provided of funds. Nobody will get this universal body enhancement unit for free. So we have to collect money. And there is a financial arrangement with the Keshe Foundation. Are you here, Stefania? Do you want to help me out with this slide?
Maria, I can add to this if you like.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. This what is this all about? Is for the first initial of one city, one center. We want to allocate 100 of these units. It means wherever you are, if you live in a city, and if even if a couple of people get together and they put the money together, you have to come up with the place that's suitable for the unit. And then once you put initial fund for it and establish it, say the whole center costs $1 million with the unit and everything else we have to set up. If you come up with $250,000, it doesn't matter if it's one person, if you're 10 people, 5 people. And the requirement is you can have a doctor, a therapist that Keshe Foundation is going to train them to how to work with the unit. And then Mr. Keshe is putting from his own money. If say you're paying $250,000, he's going to come up with another $750,000 so we can make the center. So this is for the first 100 units. So say you're in like Tehran, or you're in Paris or London or any city, you're in Africa, someplace, Ghana, and you can even, if you know people, even officials, people who are involved in hospitals, you can send them messages and then send them the videos of Mr. Keshe, show the unit, enhancement unit, and also any videos we have regarding this unit, what it does, and they can understand it and they can invest in creating these centers in these cities. Once we complete these 100 cities all around the world, we would go to 1,000. So this is the story for one city, one center.
Beautiful. So
thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rafael. And the next slide is the email addresses for the Universal Council. So that is the contact point. If you have questions or if you need any help. Otherwise, it's I think you can do a lot on the shop at the Keshe Foundation store on the main website. But any question can be sent to the Universal Council as well.
Okay, I note that Stefania's here now if she needs to be used for something.
Oh, I think Altar did a good job there. So I think we can go to the next slide, Rick. Okay, this is me Marie, showing that I'm invited to do interviews in Brazil together with TV Galactica and Rafael Teixeira from Keshe Foundation, Brazil. And tonight we are doing our 6th program, so it's really fun, and it has some effects as well. So just a moment here, I had noted something. This is from Rafael, something he wrote to me. What I'm noticing is that these interviews are bringing the groups of Keshe Foundation in Brazil more discussions and reflections about the soul aspects of the technology. So that is very interesting because these interviews are what we are talking about in this 5 that we have so far is about the Universal Council and about the soul. So it makes more people aware of and interested in the soul. And Rosanna, who is hosting from TV Galactica, she really feels that she's onto something big with this soul teaching. And she finds it very interesting because it's a simple and understandable knowledge. So she's very happy with it and wants us to keep on with these teachings on our channel. So that is the reply for them. And there is also a lot of nice replies from all the audiences. And you can find these interviews on TV Galactica's YouTube channel. And it's been really fun. And it's across the world. Me up in the north of Europe, and Rafael and Rosanna in Brazil. And it's in English and Portuguese. So Rafael is doing the translations. So we will continue doing this. So I just want to make you aware of it and that it has some effects. Okay, thank you. And I want to say that there is an interview. It's 24 CET or 12 PM CET today. It's the next interview. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Mosfek, council member representing Bengali language. So let me give you an introduction a little bit, especially about this flag. Yes, I am part of the Bengali community. What I'm going to talk about today involves Bengali community and the extended Bengali community. So it involves a group of friends who I have been friends with for a long time. I have been in the Bengali community, like living here for the last 4 years, but before that, and I traveled with them. I stayed in many of their homes. Some of them stayed with me. I cooked for them. They cooked for me. So, well, some Bengali community rubbed off on them, I'm sure. And well, many of them are Brazilians. The larger group in this are Brazilians and the Spanish. And so I'm sure some of Spanish community and the Portuguese speaking community rubbed off on me. So what has happened is about 2 years back, I told his friends about Keshe Foundation stuff, and then I began to teach some of these friends. And so, and you know, this includes not just Brazilians, Venezuelans, Mexican, Argentinians, French, English, Italian, what else? There are a few other countries here and there, but you know, so, and then as time went on, the friends of these friends, some of them I did not know, they came and joined the teaching, and you know, so I essentially talk about similar things, Keshe Foundation technology, mostly related to health. And as Corona came into the scene, so we started talking about Corona situation, and you know, and in this group, I probably have dealt with 50, somewhere between 50 and 100 people who have been infected by Corona. Some of these people are quite good at plasma technology, and they helped some of the local people. And in some cases, things were a little bit complicated. I helped a little. And so, and many of them have made GANs and so forth. So what I'm going to talk about right now is the application of soul in curing Corona. And in this group, there are also a number of doctors involved in various parts of the world. So several of them have made GANs, 1 cup GANs and cup 2 GANs, and they have used it and benefited from it. And the specific case I'm going to address, and I also address some of the other side cases that we dealt. She's an emergency doctor in Spain. She initially made the GANs, and initially she was infected because pretty much every doctor is infected by now. But she recovered from it. And she used the GANs water all the time. But since she's an emergency doctor, she's exposed to it continuously. And you know, as you spray GANs water, you become sensitive to the fields of the Corona. Wherever the field is, you can detect very easily. So one of the things that was bothering her is that her boss, he had the field, but she felt very uneasy whenever she was near to her boss. So anyway, so this, and she felt usually when she worked with her boss very close, in close proximity, she would not feel very good. And so one evening when she came back from work, she sent me text messages saying that, well, I have been infected by the field that I was exposed to. And this is her boss. And so she said, and she came back home and sprayed. And as you know, when you spray and when you were infected and when you spray, she had pain in the chest and the arm area. So she sprayed and the pain flared up, as you know, when you are infected and if you spray the GANs water. So I told her, look, you can use the traditional treatment of going through it 3 days. Perhaps sometimes you have to do a little more, as you know. So I said, do you want to do something better? And I have taught them the how you do the breathing. Through the breathing, you do energy transfer between your soul of man and soul of physicality. So I told her to do the link up, and then I said I will. Oh, one thing I said to her: do you have full trust in? I know she does it. I didn't have to ask about it, but still, it was a verbal confirmation. So I asked her whether she trusts me, and she said yes, I do. And then we said, okay, let's connect with me and see what happens. So she connected with me, and she started feeling warmth coming on her whole body, and the arm pain started to diminish very rapidly. Chest was slower, but after about a few minutes, I don't know exactly the minutes because we were exchanging text messages during this process. After a few minutes, she lost the connection. So I told her, okay, look, Anna, calm down and try connecting again. And she did, and the pain completely went away. All the symptoms of corona she felt when she was at work until she came back home, which flared up as time went on. All of them were gone, and you know, when you do this kind of communication, you get a feedback. It's not necessarily, I would not call it traditional emotion, but when the process was over, I was certain that it worked. I mean, within me, I was certain that it worked. And so I asked her that, how does she feel? And, you know, we talked for a little while about how her situation is. And she said she feels fine, feels a little tired, but she feels fine. And I said, you know, you don't have to do it now, but later on, do a test with the spray, since we have the mechanism to confirm, see whether she has it. She did later on, and there was no corona. I mean, I was certain of it, but I just said, okay, since we are doing an experiment, a scientific experiment, we can do this. So this was a very concrete way of doing corona using the soul. And I have done it with another person. And now I will also talk about some of the other experiments we have done along this line. Some of these people have made Cup of Man. And as you may know, when you are spraying, you go to a crowded place, you can detect the field. So, and one thing, this is verified by several cases in Bangladesh, as well as in the other countries I was talking about, is that the emotional state, if somebody's emotional state is like either too sad, too excited, these states, escalated emotional state, tend to make one get the corona in these kind of highly concentrated field condition. And this is from like 200 or odd people that I have dealt with who had corona. And so this we know. And so those who are, I mean, then we talked about, okay, watch your emotional state as you get exposed to these fields. So, and we noticed that if people are in a happier state or a balanced state, they don't get affected by the field. And this is another thing interesting is that certain fields, you know, if you have a field match, you get it more easily, readily. Certain other condition, when there is not a field match with you, you don't get it as easily. So these are empirical evidence. But the other thing that we have seen is that people who got affected by this field, they tried to link up with the Cup of Man, and they had success. And 4 or 5 people have tried this, and I know another of my student who has cured other people by the same method I did. So it's not, and she's not a doctor either. And so these are, we essentially did, since there is a large group of people, we could do several tests. And this has been my experience. And it has been more or less replicated by some of my students. So we know that there is these things can be done by anybody. That's really what I'm trying to convey. Anybody, anywhere in the world. And so anyway, so this Bengali community is no longer a Bengali community. As you know, Bengali speaking people are not only in Bangladesh, but also in India. But now these people are, I think, part of the community. So we have to change this flag into our universal community logo. I think that would be more appropriate. So in any case, that's the story. And we'll further look into it next time in a different way, these 3 stories together. But until then, this is what I had to say, and any question I would be happy to answer. And by the way, Doug is also part of the Bengali community. He has been in close proximity for a long time. Because Doug, you initiated the question about healing at a distance.
Thank you, Moshfek. That's absolutely amazing what you're saying. And it doesn't surprise me at all that you, in that part of the world, have reached this point, because the history of that part of the earth is very, if we can say, very spiritual. And it's just beautiful to hear what you just said. And keep up the good work. And thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There's a question in the Q&A from Jackie who says, Moshfek, when you are sensitive to the field of COVID-19, what do you feel?
In my case, I feel the pressure. And it's very evident whenever I pass a mosque, by the way. And I feel a pressure from the direction the field is. Like if the mosque is on the, let's say, the left side of the road, I feel the pressure coming onto me. And sometimes it's like, it's so strong that you feel like, oh, I don't want to stay here. I know one of my students who doesn't feel pressure as much as kind of like a sensation of heat, but it's an uneasy heat, not like, warmth. It's an uneasy heat. That's what he says to me. And it's difficult to describe some of these actually, but generally for most people feel pressure type of sensation, a pressure feel.
Okay, he has a second question. What do you feel if you are sensitized to the COVID through the use of CO2 and CuO GaNs? I don't know if that's a different question for you or not, because you're probably already sensitized through the use of GaNs. But
yes, I was at that time. When I did this treatment, I was using our spray treatment and all that as preventive measures. But in that specific case, it was like, since I know her very well, I knew that this could be done. And then my intention was to do it properly. And then, as I said, you get a certainty and you proceed from that. And it was very straightforward. And by the way, I did not mention one thing, which is the time. It took, including the disconnection, took about 5 to 10 minutes. So it was, and most of it is actually texting. So it was very fast, very, very fast.
So Hello, Moshfek. I have a question. In your group, do you have any experience for healing COVID by only connecting with the fields? Is anyone in your group who has tried this? Is there anyone who has experience with this?
Yes, some of them have tried, cup of man, instead of drinking the water, just transfer field from there. And it has worked.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, Moshfik. Hello.
Hello, yes, go ahead,
Hello.
Shweta.
Yeah. Okay, I'm saying that you have explained and has explained the universal communication so simply. This is so lovely, Moshfik. I will say love and peace to you from the core of my heart and soul. And as we are becoming the universal community, but in Bengali, I would like to say, আমার প্রাণ আর মন দিয়ে ভালোবাসা নিও মশফিক তোমার এই সুন্দর পরিভাষার আর কোনো আমার কাছে জবাব নেই so this is I have no words to explain what you have explained it can be done so simply because it is in human nature to connect to the universe and to all souls you have the experienced and as you said every time we go to the I also have experienced that and that when we go to the supermarket or I avoid doing that mostly or in a vegetable market or even in a crowded place we can feel the pressure we can feel the pressure of the energies of well we can say covid or on our heads on our body and when we come home when in earlier times I used to use the water of the cup of the one cup one life but now as you say the to ask our soul to communicate with the soul to communicate with each other with the wise beings the universal creator just I sit and go within and get in contact with the love and peace of the universe then everything goes the energies which I attached to my body when I was in the crowd just go out and I feel so light so this is the way any being can do that this is our capability as a human nature creator has created all of us in this manner so thank you again uh, much love to you Moshfik salam namaste salute thank you Moshfik
Thank you, Shweta, for also sharing your experience right here.
thank you
Any other question? Otherwise, we can move to the next one. Thank you. And I'll see you next time.
So I wonder if Stefania is available.
Emily, she is here, but her microphone is closed.
It's because she's translating, I guess. Okay, so this is the Dome of Peace. I hope everyone, all knowledge seekers and all others are spraying around the globe with their cup of life number one. And by doing so, we create this dome of peace. And we create the, what do you say? We create the, Okay, I can't remember. Okay, I read these words from Mr. Keshe. Please remember this Sunday and every Sunday from now on until we raise the soul of this planet to a peaceful planet. Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers worldwide will spread their GANS waters around the world at 12 p.m. CET and or 18 p.m. CET every Sunday at the same time as they choose which time to suit them. And thank you for participating in this greatest movement by the soul for the man to bring the soul of the man to bring about the peace on this planet as a permanent feature of the life of this planet. So that was Mr. Keshe's own words. And please participate in this simple but very effective movement to create peace in the world or on planet Earth. And the word I was looking for was condition. So we create the condition for peace inside this dome. And it will just grow and grow and grow. So every drop counts. Thank you. So we can go to the next slide, please. Are you there, Sweta? Have we lost Sweta?
Yeah, hello. Hello. Thank you, Mary. Uh, uh, this is Shweta Anwar, UC Hindi language, and this is an invitation to join as a member of Universal Council and Universal Council support team. So, as my dear Rick always says, welcome to the one rate, one race, one planet, one nation. Welcome. Welcome to the energy, beautiful and peaceful energies of the foundation. Welcome to the Universal Council energy, the love energy, the energy, the wishful energy of all that is. And welcome, my dear souls. Especially, I welcome, this is an appeal, this is a call of love and peace to all those who listening and existing now everywhere in this universe. Now you can join, especially the younger generation. I appeal to them to come forward and join as you see Universal Council members, as somehow in the time we have to uh, we have to leave this position so that be you can take the responsibilities of humanity on your shoulders. So, and we are going to support you, but you have to come forward and join the Universal Council a membership. Please join the Universal Council membership and Universal Council support. And I also want to say about it, as walking with the ethos of the foundation, with the energies of the universal community. Traveling in space, we will learn how to receive and give energy in beauty and totality. We can see all the beauty in the visible light again, as it is started, as you can see in the exhibition of Linz. So this is the key time to prepare humanity for the knowledge of the life and living and traveling in space. So I will say, transform into a butterfly. There is no need to walk on burning fire or to struggle or to even thought of pain. Transform into a butterfly, fly high and high in the colors of the rainbow, pen in love, with all the loving ones passing by. So, in a way, here is the key point. True abundance is unconditional. It is a natural expression of the Creator. All the forms of lacks and are anomalies. Lacks or darkness, you can see, is created and unnecessary to our evolution. So we are bringing the light of the Creator. There is no need to hold the darkness anymore. and the light will do what we need. So please come and join in this light and love. In the back, there is a background information about the Universal Council can be found in the UC Charter and UC Mandate on the homepage of Universal Council. It is very necessary. You can go through the you should go through the UC Charter and UC Mandate. It is beautifully written and created by, of course, my Messiah, Shriman Mehran Tavakoli Keshe, and all the hard work of the Keshe Foundation, teamwork. The decision to join will be made by our soul, because soul is the one that is the king sitting within yourself. So you have to make the decision with your soul. This is very necessary, as this will be forever. The peace treaty will be from within the soul of your physicality and the soul of your, the universal soul, I will say. The two will have to be in peace in this peace treaty. Apply as Universal Council member for the open language positions. Apply as Universal Council support member for any chosen language, And then we will connect in the universal language, as Moshfik explained in a way beautifully how simple it is. So apply by filling in the form at the bottom of this page. Rick, can you open the link, please? It will take some time. Please have patience. Here in this plasma realm, we say peace. Patience is peace. That is all. Because in this peace, we can feel, we can receive the dynamic fields of the universal love. So always, I will say, every soul has that patience, and every soul have to be in patience to receive. And if you are receiving like that, you will be a giver too. So this is the kindness that the universe gives us always, to create and to give. This is the charity we have to do, the all charity. This is the charity, not in this physicality, but by a wish, we can do the charity for all human beings. This is the page, my dear ones, the Universal Council page. You can see on the screen, and you can also see the charter, and also see this is the logo. This is so beautiful. You can see the sun, the glowing sun, and the earth is becoming the sun. Mother is ascending. So does we. We are also going, we are also becoming the sun, as in the level of understanding. So this is the page. Please go through the mandate and the charter, written from the pen of the soul of the universe. And uh, yes, this is the page, and you can see the color. This is the application. You can see the color. This is violet ascension color, the color of ascension, the color of love, knowledge, peace, everything. Please fill this form with your soul, and with in all love. You have the love, you have the kindness. Please fill this form. My dear souls, my beautiful souls, especially the younger generation, I again appeal to them. This is a call of love. Please fill the form and be in the universal community, and be a guide, a teacher, to uplift humanity, to be in the light forever. So fill the form with your soul pen, my dear ones. Thank you for being here. If you are not here also, anywhere, if you are existing, my dear souls, you are welcome. Welcome to this energy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much.
So I say welcome to everyone today being here with us with this workshop from the Universal Council. My name is Birgit. I'm a member of the Universal Council support, and today I want to tell you something about the new Universal Council lecture series, and I will start today with it. And this is part 1. And so the reason why I do this is I think it's very important this time to talk about these things. First, I want to say something about the introduction. And all humans feel straight in the last years and months that there are many ranges which change straight very strongly. Each person has his or her own focus in this respect. Some also feel the energy change in the body and in their energy fields. Many of these perceptions are subtle, intangible. For me, this is often a feeling of something is happening, but I can't express what it is. I think you know that. Everyone knows this. I would like to offer to all people who are willing to listen, to feel, and to become mindful, to all those who want to make their way, your own way, to be part of my thoughts. It's quite clear that we are moving into a new time where we are allowed to let go of old structures because they are no longer useful to us. They belong to the old system. That is the reason why I decided to talk and share my thoughts with you. In order to master the change coming in big steps more easily and consciously, it is important, in my opinion, to become aware of some topics. By this I mean essential areas and transformations that are helpful for our further human development. So Rick, can you please give me the next slide? Thank you. So my first topic is the separation from the collective negative consciousness. At the beginning, a few questions about this topic. What exactly is meant by this? And what does the collective consciousness mean? What do I understand by the collective negative consciousness? All of us, all living beings who live here on this wonderful planet Earth are connected to each other through our energy fields, the frequencies we send out through our energy centers, chakras and aura, for example. Mother Earth and her soul Gaia is surrounded by an energy field, the morphogenetic field, which contains, stores all the information that ever a living being said, thought, did, and felt. Every living being on Earth has access to this information. We are all, without exception, connected to this collective field. Sometimes we feel we are not, or we think we are not connected because of the actual personal situation. As you can imagine, this collective field of consciousness contains both positive and negative information, of course. At this point, it is important to be clear that in the end, there is nothing negative because it always requires a person's perception and evaluation to perceive something as negative. However, this negative self-perception is necessary. to develop oneself further. Once we have gone through this process, we retrospectively experience it too as negative, but later as positive. Everyone knows situation in his own life. Um, when the first sight is, oh my God, what is happening now? And the feelings are not good, and the thoughts are not good, and there is fear, and we don't know how to handle this. But after a while, when the situation passed by and we look back, then we see it was not bad. It was only in the first moment the things we feared for, and after a while we see it brings us to a better place where we see it in another way and helps us to let things go. So, Rick, please can you give me the next slide? Thank you. So, what is the difference between positive and negative consciousness? I think it is clear to you that it is feelings, thoughts, words, and deeds that play the main role here. What are the positive energies that we find in the collective fields? They are positive energies carrying by love and joy, lightness, charity, and lightful thoughts, words, deeds, and feelings. They are loving thoughts for people, animals, plants, and so on, without evaluation and full acceptance for the beings. So I have an example. When we walk through the streets with a lot of people at the weekend, and sometimes we see people sitting on the streets and begging for money, wearing old clothes and choose to live like they live on the street. And sometimes people look at them from above and say to themselves or to the other persons, oh my God, why does he sit there? Why don't he go to work and earn his own money and all these things? But nobody is allowed to say something like this because everyone chooses his own life in his own way, no matter where he lives and what he did in his life or what he do in his life. So nobody is allowed to say something like this because we have our free will, if we know it or not, but we choose the way we live. So when we think this way, we don't say things like this longer to persons who live on the streets, for example. It is about the loving word spoken from our soul, words of recognition, acceptance, appreciation, and courage. It is also about actions of love and devotion in everything we do for ourselves and for others. For what we give to others, we give to ourselves. Thus increase happiness for both. It fills our heart when we act in love, when we serve. Through this we give inner peace to others and ourselves. It is about our mindful feelings, which we can consciously direct, consciously perceive. They are, they are feelings about ourselves, our being, who we are, what we do, and how we interact with others. Feelings that we have about other beings, situations, past times, and the idea of our personal future. Sometimes we have feelings we can't control. We think we cannot control it, but it's not so difficult to control these feelings. We can concentrate on them where we find it in our body, and then we can talk to them, and we can say to them, hey, I feel you. I know it's good that you are here in this moment to show me what I should see and be thankful for this. It's very good to do this. And then it can go. And when you do it a lot of times, these feelings go and don't come back. That's my personal experience. Now we look at the negative collective feels as they arise and with which we are constantly, mostly unconsciously connected. Here, too, we are dealing with our thoughts, words, deeds, and feelings, but these are not our true ones, as they are shaped by our external influences of which we are usually not full aware. We all know these imprints, beliefs, expectations, and often self-destruction feelings. So can you please give me the next slide? Thank you. At this point, we come to the clarification how these negative fields of consciousness can arise in ourselves at all. The truth is that all living beings on this planet are pure love, pure divine consciousness, and that we are constantly connected to the original source of creation. Here are now a few large areas that have the great influence on us. They have been influenced us since the day of our earthly birth. So there are the education. We are born into an environment that we have chosen on the soul level. Our soul guides us through this life to meet and to mature, to meet all the challenges we have set ourselves. Only we have forgotten what has been so far. Our planet, our parents, or our caregivers do not see in us a child, the light filled with a wise soul, but a small, ignorant being that has to learn everything first. Of course, there are exceptions to parents who see this from a mature consciousness, but this has been the exception so far. We now learn from these people, parents, from their reality consciousness, everything we need as a human being to be an adult, independent, functioning, and obedient person. If we are lucky, we get love and understanding on our way. Out of their consciousness, our parents always, very always, give their best because they simply do not know any other way. So we get everything that our parents think is the best and in their opinion the right thing for us because nobody taught them to look at things differently. And that's a very hard thing for some people when they had a not so good childhood and not say, oh, my parents are bad ones or something like this. They did not know it. Nobody told them, look the other way. So when you want to feel better with this, go into the forgiveness. See the light, see the things they want to give to you because they think that is the best for you. So the next point is the company, the environment. In the course of our lives, we pass through stations in society. from kindergarten, school, circle of friends, association, education, and profession. There we learn further rules and behaviors that press us into forms and keep us trapped in roles. Then the media. Parallel to education and society, we experience the influence of the media. We are manipulated, aligned, and increasingly removed from ourselves and our light-filled soul by distraction. That's an interesting thing you can do when you like to consume a lot of the media. So concentrate on you and feel in your body and feel yourself in the way you feel inside you, and then show after a while, some hours or something, how you feel. How does your body feels, and how did you feel inside with your feelings uh, and your thoughts about yourself? That's a very interesting experience, especially when you uh, make this experience also the next day. Take a look at it. How does it feel? How did you feel with it? Rick, can you please give me the next one? Thank you. Now I would like to concentrate on the path that will lead us out of this dilemma. The path that leads back to us, that reminds us who we really and truly are. Divine, lightful, beloved, complete. This path is different for everyone. Each soul has its own way of transforming and awakening and maturing. For this is the goal of every soul, but it will guide us, consciously reconnect us to the original of our being, for we are always connected. The only thing that is important to bring about this change is your decision. Choose. Choose now. Choose every moment. You have received a free will from the Creator. Make it now, and you, your soul takes you by the hand. Learn to live your own truth. Find out what your own truth is without fear of rejection and exclusion, because authenticity frees you. Stand by yourself with all your thoughts, opinions, and quirks, for you are right as your Creator meant you to be. Let go of all old things, for they prevent you from reaching yourself. Freedom is the courage to do what you really love and to follow your heart regardless of all circumstances. Love yourself just as you are, for you are unique, full of grace and light. There's a reason that every person is unique. Love everything about you. The next slide, please. Rick. Get out of your comfort zone. That's the hardest thing to do for some people, because only if you become uncomfortable with your life will your life change, and only with change comes development in your life. Knock out, inside and outside. Use the conscious contact to your soul, as Mr. Keshe teaches. Use the fields in nature and the GANs as catalysts. Go inside. They will find your truth, your peace, and your essence. Truth. Trust in the original source of creation, because you are never alone. So, we're coming to the end, and now there is a well-known text. I will read it. I love this. Traces in the sand. One night I had a dream. I was awakening along, I was, I was walking along the sea with my Lord. Before the dark night sky shone like streaks of light, pictures from my life. And each time I saw two footprints in the sand, my own and that of my Lord. When the last picture passed my eyes, I looked back. I was surprised when I discovered that at many places in my life there is only one trace to be seen. And these were just the most difficult times of my life. Worried, I asked the Lord, Lord, when I began to follow you, you have promised me to be with you, with me on all paths. But now I discover that in the hardest times of my life is only one trace to be seen in the sand. Why did you leave me alone when most needed? And he answered, my dearest child, I love you and I will never leave you alone, especially not in the hardest hardship and difficulties. When you have seen only one trace, I carried you. So the last slide, please, Rick. So thank you for all your time and appreciative thoughts about yourself. I give free from my soul. Take what you need. Thank you very much for your listening, and now we go on with the workshop. Thank you. If someone has any questions, you're welcome.
Thank you, Brigitte. You might want to review the recording. There's a lot of problems with the audio and people are commenting about that. So you need to get a better microphone or change your environment there to sort that out. Gunther has a microphone open. You have a question there, Gunther? Comment?
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Oh.
Hello? Sorry.
Anybody else with a comment or a question? Okay, I think we're clear in the live stream. So,
Rick, hi, it's Dean here.
Hi, Dean.
Hi, Rick. Can I just quickly make a comment? I'd just like to say thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I know there were some noise issues, but the message was very clear, and it's clear for humanity. We're at a point now where we're here for humanity. Humanity is in a position to have a guiding hand from the Universal Council and the Earth Council have been set up on this planet to help and guide humanity into a new position, to give us all peace within ourselves and within our environment and everything around us, everything that we hold dear to our being and our soul. So it's a very important time, and these presentations, these words that are spoken, the ethos and the beauty of what's just been delivered, is that the message is very clear to me. It's time for peace, and it's time for the beauty of the soul to be shown for all humanity to shine. And it's all of us, the family, each and every family member. We're all one, and we're all the same. And this beautiful knowledge that Mr. Keshe has given to us freely is for each and every single one of us. And there will come a time when each and every single one of us will be part of it. Just be present with yourself, be in peace with yourself, and be in peace with your neighbor and everything, and the whole environment around you. Let the fields emanate from your body, step into a place of peacefulness, and let's change this whole ethos, this whole the planetary that's been in so much turmoil for such a long time. It would be wonderful for it now to be in a beautiful position of peace where all the family and each and every single one of us is just in a most joyous place to be. I think it's very important in these moments. And as I said, the council has been set up to aid and help humanity in this role. They have visions, they have guidelines, and they are putting in structures in place to help us have this most wonderful structured life that we all want. We can all have this reality right now, just with our thoughts and our intentions. Each and every one of us. And don't we all want that? Don't we all really want a beautiful place to live in, where our families are secure and loved? I know they are loved, but to be loved by everyone, each and every one of us. I think it's really important. So thank you very much for that message, Bridget. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Dean, very much. And that's everything you said is the truth. And the other message is I want to give everyone has to start with himself, with his own things inside, and start by yourself to change himself. So if everyone does this starting, it will go outside. So we have the microcosmos and the macrocosmos, and it starts with ourselves. That's the other message. Thank you.
Brigitte, you mentioned in your discussion there about the sort of restrictions or positions or points in the body that we can sense or feel and release the emotion from it. Could you explain that more?
Okay, you can hear me good? Is it okay this way?
Yes, there's some background noise, but we can hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. Sometimes we have situations, most with a reason of the money or the work or the family or something like this. And some situations come back again and again and again. And we have sometimes always the same feelings. Every feeling you can feel in your body, mostly in a special place. When you have fear, sometimes you feel it in your breast, sometimes in your stomach, and sometimes in your legs. And so everyone knows these feelings that makes you look like you can't breathe or you can't walk and something like this, and you're helpless. Sometimes you're helpless with these feelings, and you always trapped in the same feeling because of the same emotions. And that's a program. And this program works as long as you let it work, because when you don't find out that it is a program, you cannot change it. It's normal. But now, if you think about the situation, and you know the situation makes you feel almost the same way, and then you can start to feel inside your body. Where is, for me personally, the feeling of fear or all these other bad emotions? Where can I find it in my body? Where is the feeling? And then you can go with your thoughts into your body, searching this special point in your body, and you will find it soon. And then you concentrate on this part in your body, and you can start to talk, because everything that you can give a name is an energy. Every thought is an energy. So, and the energies in your body, the feelings, are there because your soul is talking to you. Your soul wants to show you something. You don't want to hear it because you don't know how to connect and hear the soul information. Though the soul talks with you over your body. And so you can talk to this feeling. And you can talk loud or only in your thoughts. And you can say, for example, there's fearness in your breath, and you can say, fearness, I can feel you. I can feel you in my breath. And it is okay that I can feel you. It is okay that you are here now in my breath, because I know it is very important for me that you are here. I know you want to show me something. And I thank you for being there. And now I know you there, and I like to look at you. I like to look at you. Why are you there? And then when you do this, when you do it this way, the fear goes. It goes away, because the only reason why the fear or any other feeling is in your body manifested is because the soul wants you to look to this feeling. And when you do it, you have done what the soul wants you to do. And then you can clear it. And when you do it this way, every time you have the same situation and the same feeling, the situation changed, the feeling changed. It did not come again after a while. And so you develop yourself inside by changing the way you react in the situation, by changing to live with your feelings. And this is very, very helpful. I had a lot of situations in my life where I did that absolutely straight in the way I did it, because I don't want it anymore to feel bad this way. I don't want it, the feelings control me. I am the person, I am the soul who must control this feelings, not the other way. So I can say I have an experience this way many, many times with different situations, and it works. So yes, that's my thought about it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I see in the chat, Diane was inspired to write a quote from her memory from Bahala. I'll just read it because I think maybe it's appropriate. It goes, if not for the burning in their hearts and the fire in their souls, they would be drowned in the midst of their tears. And if not for the flood of their tears, they would be burnt by the fire in their hearts and the heat of their souls. Thou hast protected them from both extremes. Methinks they are like angels that thou hast created out of fire and snow. So I thought that was quite nice. Thank you, Diane.
If I may, I can add something to this. I can. This just happened recently. There was a woman, and she reached out to me because she just recently broke up with her boyfriend, and she was very working hard, and she had so much anger and so much fear, and mostly anger. And she reached out to me because she says, for the past 2 days, I wake up and I constantly cry, and then the life is so gleam and doom and gloom for me. I have like, I just see darkness. So I asked my husband, because my husband can see the energy field, because what she has done to herself is when you, everything has a field. When you think about love, it has a field. When you think about fear, it has a field. When you think about devotion, it has a field. When you think about grace, it has a field. So she's been having so much anger and fear for the past 3-4 months. That's all she's been doing. So when my husband checked her, he saw, my husband calls it, he can see the energy from miles away. I mean, you can be in another country and he can see it. So when he checked her, he calls it entity, but it's a field, because the entity was sitting on a heart chakra. So when she has those emotions, all that, she actually kind of blocked the whole, just putting the clusters of cement around your heart. That's what it is, just something is sticking there. The way my husband explained it and the way he treats his patient and he sees it, he says, so when you have all those dark stuff, everything has a field, so you attract more of the same to yourself. So that she was created. So my husband removed it the minute he removed it, 3 hours later, she was fine. She was completely normal, emotionally, everything. She felt day is beautiful. She actually went out to the nature, and she had a fantastic day. And the next day I checked on her, she said she's absolutely perfect. So these are the things we never thought about, that everything we think about and all the sicknesses actually we get in time, like somebody gets cancer, where does the cancer come from? Because these are stored emotion after a while, because the body is about 36,000 on the right side, which is a male masculine side. On the left side, which is a feminine side, we have 36,000 channel of energy on both sides. So the body is not this, we are in flesh, but the actuality of the body, the structure, a skeleton of our body is that highway of energies. That when the highway of energy is running beautifully, just imagine, if you imagine the energy of the body like highway, if there's an accident happening to it, what happened? The cars are all blocked up and then you cannot pass. It's just a disaster. Exactly the same thing goes in the body. When there is a blockage, you don't allow energy from other centers to pass through, which is very crucial to the health of the body in all aspects of it. So that's why the diseases, as Mr. Keshe says, 80% of our diseases are psychosomatic because of that reason. So as we go through our life, depending on what we got encountered to, you see, when you look at children, if you pay attention to them, I don't know if you notice, like they play and they fight about something. The next minute you see they're kissing each other, they're hugging, because they pass that point. Like, they don't take it as if this is my life story. But as we go through adulthood, because the way the body changes in terms of the relationship of the soul, of physicality to the soul, what has happened, we get to the point when we go through our life, something happened, we have stories, we make it a story of our life, but that's not your story. You encounter something happens, you respond to it, you move on. But what we do as human, when we get to adulthood, we put it in a bag and carry it on our shoulder. And that's the result of all the blockages. But if you look at anything that happens to us as event on this planet, because we learned, we were taught that everything has to wake up in the morning, like have your cup of coffee, everything has to go through smoothly. But no, this is an adventure. You came on this planet to have adventure, but everybody wants to play it safe. But if you play life as it is, actually you enjoy life more because the life is adventure. And take a risk in any aspect of your life you can. Because that's the beauty of life. So another thing that brings it to my attention is this, because a lot of people I notice around me, they lost their job. And since to us, normality is, I have to have a job to get up in the morning, go to work, get a salary, and buy my meal, buy this. This is normality to us. Now, when we don't have a job, we get so like depressed and so stressed out and everything. But we have to find a new norm. What is a new norm? If you don't have a job, that's okay. What is your skill? What is it that you do? What is it that you can say to someone? Thousands of people out there. If you, with the social media, if you know something, if you lost your job, just reach out to someone. Maybe you can go to someone's door and do something for them. Don't you think you can get a meal? They don't offer you a meal. They give you food is given. So for us to get out of this, what we call norm, is to reach out to whatever we can. You find somebody, maybe you can even have a car, drive to their house, maybe help them with something or teach them something, whatever you know. It doesn't matter what it is, but that's how we have to step into something we call the flow of life. Flow of life, it means human connection. It means you pay attention to what's going on in your own environment, where you live. Not to sit in four doors of your wall, looking for a job that go to another office, come back home and get on the computer and do it same old. We have to break this curtain, break these walls that we create for ourselves as normality and start a new transition. Get connection with other people in whatever way we can. Don't think about losing job or losing home as something which is bad. It's an adventure on this planet Earth. So actually you enjoy life that way more. Some people might sitting, I know people who have done this, and when they step out of that shell they created, actually the whole new world has opened up for them. And this is very, very important, that how we can also teach this knowledge to other people. So when you go to help someone, that's an initiation for us to open up and talk about this knowledge. Talk about plasma science, talk about how the life is going to change for everybody, for humanity, how we are stepping into new transition, that we don't need medicines, we don't need food, we don't need any of these things. We don't have to even stay on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Asa. I want to go back what you say when you get cancer, for example. Why did that happen? And I think when we have a lot of negative thoughts, it infects ourselves. And when we repeat these thoughts years and years, then we will get something like cancer. And when we know that our thoughts must be changed to get out of this circumstances, then the way is by thinking good, positive things, serving, helping people, love ourselves and love everything that is given from the Creator, and get in contact with our souls. So we come out of this circus.
Okay, very good. Just looking at the chats here. Okay, I think we can go on to the next thing. There's no other questions or comments. And the next thing
Hi.
is questions and comments.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, hi, this is Marie. I have moved the soul teachings to the private soul teachings on Mondays. So there is no soul teaching in this presentation. So everyone is welcome to join us in the soul teachings on Mondays at 6 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thanks. That's 6 p.m. Central European Time each Monday, and you have to be a private student in the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute for that. And it's a good time to, it's always a good time to sign up to be a student, or you can have access to all the previous teachings back to 2015, many private teachings of value there. And you can also participate in the latest groups that are formed for various topics that have been designated, and those group meetings happen every week also in the private teaching. I was wondering if Stefania had anything she wanted to present or say today. Any inspiration from the Mojang end of things?
I think today her soul is here, not her physical soul.
Well, she was here earlier.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, she's probably.
Hi, Stefania. Hi.
Yeah, I just went. Did you ask me anything? Because I just went outside. Maybe it's just bad timing every time.
I was just wondering if there's anything you wanted to say or present today, or any aspects from the Mojang end of things, any inspiration you'd like to impart?
I'm just thinking about what I mean. It was very beautiful what everyone said up to now. I really loved everything. Also, like what you said, Hazar, very true about the fields and Bridget. That you know, you it's where you put your attention to it. But this is personal, like where you pay attention to it, it's where your energy goes. So if you pay attention to bad thoughts or bad things happen to you, then you give in, you feed in those energy. like a Bridget said, or like Azar said. So it's very, very important where you focus your attention. And I just remember Mr. Keshe in the Mojan when he used to make us in a circle, and we're supposed to guess what each other person was feeling, because we're not used to pay attention to feelings. And then once the more we get good on recognize feelings and feel those feelings, then we can recall them. Because that was the whole things about the Mojan, recall sensation without thinking. And this the sensation to the or replicate the feelings that change the structure around you. So my understanding is that through feelings or through sensation or through for the way you feel, you can change structure. So this is very important things to understand. The structure is not fixed. Nothing is fixed. As we learn in now with the dynamic, flow of energy fields. So nothing is fixed. And the feelings and the sensation has this power to change a physical structure. So literally, you can even change your bones and the way you are made through feelings. So this is what I remind, what stuck out for me also in the learning of the Mojan, that is connected with what has been talked just now, that through feelings and through sensation, you can change structure. And this is a very, very powerful tool, because we are very used to think that the way you are is the way you're gonna stay, or the things the way are around you are gonna stay like this. No, nothing is fixed. And you will be very surprised how quickly we can change structure through feelings and thoughts. Feelings, sorry, thoughts maybe is not the right word, feelings and sensation. So that's why I just invite everyone, like Mr. Keshe used to invite us, to really pay attention to your feelings, or try to exercise like we used to exercise. Guess what the person next to you is, in which mood he is, or in which feels he is. The guess has to be done in seconds, because this was another thing that you have to answer in seconds. The moment you just wait like 1 minute, is already too late. So everything, I think, at the soul level, and everything is instant. So you have to just get used to that speed. Yeah, and so this is what I would like to say. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Stefania. We have Marco with a hand up here, maybe something to add. Go ahead, Marco. I'm not sure if Marco is able to open the microphone there. Well, if you do wish to talk, Marco, go ahead, and in the meantime, we'll have to carry on here. Okay, I was reminded of a saying that Sweta, did you want to say something? I think
Yes, can you hear?
Oh, sorry, I just muted you, but go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say, share my heart and soul feeling that maybe the teachings are in the Monday, the soul teachings are on Monday, but all the presentation was done very soul, ways the lovely soul present. So a soul teaching is a way But whatever presentation we have done, we are all soulfully given, in a way, the simplest form of teaching, the knowledge of soul. So, my dear souls, those who are present, those who are not even present, may see the soul in all the presentation. And we wish from the soul always when we present. So maybe the teaching is on Monday, but the soul is always, every time, in this timelessness, in every moment, all the presentations. So, my dear Rick, thank you for letting me in. And I want to say how Birgit presented the soul, how beautifully Moshfik presented in the simplest, in the true human nature, how the soul works. This is the original teachings, these are the knowledge we have to receive. So I want to say like that, that the soul, all the presentations are soulful, very, very soulful, and we are all receiving it in a way, in the universal way. Thank you so much. I just want to say, if there are any question um, about you know about the soul, how it interacts with the universe, anybody can ask or have their presentation or their way of knowledge thinking about the soul can go ahead. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sweta. I was reminded during the previous conversation there about a little saying that I learned a long time ago, that it goes like this: it's where attention goes, energy flows. And it's quite simple, but it's very true. And there's many practical examples of, for example, if you were to direct your attention to one of your hands or one of your feet and really place your attention on it, you can actually direct the flow of blood to that area, and the flow of energy and the sensitivity and so on. And all of a sudden your left foot is the most important thing in your life, and you put all your attention on your left foot. Maybe if you stub your toe or hurt your foot or sprain your ankle, then it really takes your attention. And when we put our attention on it, the blood flows there better, and it helps the healing process. We have to be aware there's something wrong in order for it to heal, and so on, that the body becomes aware through our attention. And there's other examples. A great example I have when if I have a tooth that flares up, or if people have a toothache or something like that, then our attention usually goes to that area, and that one tooth becomes huge in our lives. Like it feels like it takes up the whole universe, and we've become focused on the pain, or perhaps we start using different techniques to reduce the pain and so on. So one thing I tried once when I had a tooth that was inflamed and really painful on one side of my mouth, I put all my attention on that spot and focused on that pain, and then pulled that pain over to the other side of my mouth and felt it on the other side of my mouth, just putting it over there. And then I just let it go, because it was almost humorous, because I had pulled the pain from the point where I thought the pain was and redirected it to the other side of my mouth, which didn't have any trouble. And I realized then it was the focusing on the pain that increased the pain, and I could actually direct that energy by refocusing, placing it in a different place, and then it just disappeared at that point. And actually, well, it took away virtually all the pain that was happening. And it made me realize the power that we have in our attention in redirecting flows of energy. So the attention goes first and then the flow in a way. So we can use that to advantage to examine different parts of our body where we have these resistances and anomalies built up from various experiences on this planet that we might not have preferred, and so on and so forth. And we can, as Brigitte said earlier, we can focus our attention on those spots and ask them what they need to relieve that that blockage and allow the energy to flow. And that's when we get back into the flow of energy.
Yes, that is very interesting, Rick, because you can use this also to do many things. So you will learn that wherever you put attention to it, everything change. You go back to life. Or you can do like you did. You can transfer the sensation from one part of the body to another part. And this is how usually, for example, I would use in my work to make people walk again, see again. And in one way, we do it here as well when we talk about our vision, when we talk about which is our vision, which is our wish. It's the same things done in a bigger scale. So you can transfer. So the moment you pay attention to a part of your body, that part get back to life. So many times we saw maybe people losing their arms for accident, and they never used their feet before because we didn't even know where our feet are. A lot of time when accident happen or when you're injured, is only then that you realize that you got a body. Before you don't. Because I don't know many of you, how many can tell how many vertebrae you have. And many of you maybe is been with their body for more than 40, 50 years and still don't know where their vertebrae are. So the attention is very important. And for me, especially in plasma technology, is a little bit like, you know, when we talk about position, taking position or taking or orientation on where are you in space or come back home. Because if you don't know where you are, you don't know where to come back to. So these are very fundamental things we're talking now. For example, if someone, like I said to you, lose their arms and they start to pay attention to their feet, suddenly, as you saw many times, those people, they start to painting with their feet, eating with their feet. There was a famous gentleman, he used to even shave with his feet and do his button of his jacket with his feet. Because as soon as you pay attention to where your toes are, suddenly your toe go back to life. They literally physically change. So that's why, you know, shape shifting, we do shape shifting already in many ways, but we don't pay attention. But, you know, so wherever you pay attention, it's where your energy goes and where things happening, and you go back to life. So even what you did, you transfer, and then you can transfer. So like I said to you before, you can copy, you can. So that's why feeling is really important. So you pay attention to your tooth that was in pain, and then you had the ability of transfer that sensation to the other side of the mouth, and suddenly you had pain in the other side. So the through attention, you can store the feelings, and then you can transfer the feelings in other part of the body. So this we do with people who go stroke, paralysis, you know, they lose the ability of, for example, the right arm. So with the left arm, you ask them to move the left arm. The left arm doesn't have any problem whatsoever. And you make it focus on the sensation, pay attention on the feelings, and then you transfer those feelings like you did with your tooth to the other side, to the good arm. And then suddenly, like a magic, the arm that was not moving before, now suddenly it's moving. Or you can do the other way around, like you did. You focus on the arm that doesn't move, and you then pretend that your good arm, like you did with your teeth, good arm was gone, no problems. You pretend now that the good arm become the bad arm, so you can transfer the sensation of the limitation of the left arm into the right arm, and pretend your right arm is the one who's got the problems. And then you let go, and then suddenly your right arm is improved. So you can trick the brain. So you come to the conclusion that the pain is not even where it is, but it's actually in your mind. That's why we go back to the soul, and that the brain is a filter. It's filtering these magnetic fields, and then at a specific point and place, they become tangible into physicality, like into arms and whatever. So you learn that nothing is fixed, and you learn you can store it, you can replicate it, and you can move it to other part. And I think this what in one way it's what Mr. Keshe tried to teach us with the transmutation of the element, the transportation. This is my interpretation of what maybe Mr. Keshe tried to teach us. So that's why, again, what you just said, and what Bridget said, and what others said, it's fundamentally important. It's where I think I personally try to focus, my attention to. But it's where the future is. So if we became familiar with feeling the sensation and pay attention, even Lara and Eve, there are two Italian knowledge seekers that they build up the machine. Do you remember the announcement unit? They say the same things. If you stay in the now, because stay in the now means also be aware, or means also pay attention, no? Then they said, if you stay in the now during the day, then when night comes, you're gonna be able to be more present in the dreams. And they get to a point where now in the dreams they can meet Mr. Keshe, or they can meet the other people, they have take it to this level, and then talk with them and discuss their wish, and then when they wake up in the morning, they already know what they need to do and how to do it. So I think all this is something that we can learn day by day, how to play and be in control with. In control in the sense that sometimes, like Bridget said, with education, we've been brought up in a certain ways, with certain beliefs, but we can change by being in control. Just I say in a way of you can make choice. So this is what I think what Mr. Keshe does with this knowledge. He gives us choices, and when you have choices, you have freedom. So the important thing in life is to have choices. There is no bad and good, but if you got choices and you choose to do something, that is the most important things. But also to be able to choose, you need to have a little bit of knowledge, or so yes. So that's why I think what we're talking today for me is very, very important. Is what we're learning right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefania. I also add to Rick's. So Rick has so my dear Rick has so beautifully shared the knowledge in a simplest way. You know, to concentrate the energy in a way to every cell, every or as we are organism in a collective way. So he has beautifully explained also. As in a way, I also do the same thing as Rick said, as Stefania said, that I inside me when the the two soul interacts, I became, in India we call it Shakti, the supreme energy. And the Shakti has all that is needed. She is the light, the goddess. And then the goddess feels, sees, and I see my whole body as small, small houses. The cells are small, small houses. Sometimes a house has a conflict and it gives out pain. The Devi, the goddess, goes there and asks her what they need. And then she gives the energy to them, what they need. So this is how I concentrate, like the balls of different colors of flowers and a lightened flowers flowing through the blood in a way, going in a house to give them the abundance, like a cell, like a two cell, like three cell, like four cell, like an organ, like an organism we are. So I have also learned in this way how to heal myself, you know. And because I started healing myself, I became a giver too. I i now give. My wishes are clear and truthful, more and more. So this is how I work, my heart and soul work, as the two cups are interacting with each other in a tangible and a non-tangible way, in a all love condition. So the Devi inside me always moves in a call of love. So this is how my I use this energy, this beautiful energy to work to heal myself. And as we are connected soulfully to each other, to other souls too. And I have seen many, many souls, and I hear them. I hear them as they are, maybe they left because of the severe pain created by this physicality and they don't understand, but they left. This is their wisdom. And some are really, really healing. This is a wish of all of us. So, as you said, dear Rick, dear Stefania, this is the wish. In the blood, we have the transformation going like flowers, like energy balls, the lights. So, this is how I do. Thank you. Thank you, Rick, for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Stefania. Thank you.
Doug here again. I recall a very interesting story. Well, it was an actual event. I was registering my car in the motor registry and standing in a line behind a gentleman, and he was at the counter, and I was just basically staring into the middle distance, you know, waiting my turn. But I noticed that this gentleman had no arms at all that were visible under his clothing, and that he was signing the forms, taking things out of his bag, his wallet, taking his driver's license out, signing things, all with his feet, with a foot. And I was stunned. I thought, you know, this is amazing. And he finished his business and left the building. And I got up to the counter and I asked the lady behind the counter, who was that? Who was that gentleman? And she said, yes, he's a very interesting person, isn't he? He's what is known as a thalidomide baby, born at a time when a certain drug was given to mothers to stop morning sickness in pregnancy. And it caused serious mutations. And so ever since he was born, he had no arms. But, you know, she said he, you know, rather than feel sorry, angry about the condition he found himself in, he just adapted. And, you know, that tells a lot about the attitude, the intention, and the feelings of the soul, rather than just being a victim and feeling hatred and resentment in a position that we find ourselves in through disease or malfunction of our body. We turn it around into a positive. And the funniest thing of all, the lady behind the counter told me he actually runs an earth-moving business, which he calls Bigfoot Earth Moving. And he drives excavators, tractors, you know, complex machinery, all using his feet. So, you know, that to me, it still sticks with me in my memory that you know, you do not have to feel you know, negative and resentful about conditions that you might find yourself in. And it might not be overnight, but you will overcome the diseases and so on that you have if you simply, you know, concentrate, as we've been saying, our attention on the positive side of it, not let it get you down, because that'll only make it worse. So it was just a story that came to mind, and thank you, everybody.
That's pretty amazing. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you so much. Beautiful. It's a beautiful example. And of course, it shows the courage of the heart. Thank you so much for sharing.
There was a comment earlier from Diane in the chat who said she just realized that shamans and medicine people use plasma energy transfer when they use an object to represent whatever disease. That's an interesting idea there. Again, you can see how the use of attention can direct that energy transfer.
I didn't quite understand this. I didn't quite understand what they're doing with the. So, with the, can you repeat that, Rick? I didn't quite understand how the shaman, what the shaman do.
Yeah, I'll repeat it and then I'll try to explain what I think it means, or she can.
Yeah, if she can, would be great.
She says, just realize that shamans and medicine people use plasma energy transfer when they use an object to represent whatever disease. So, Diane, would you like to allow you to speak if you like, if you want to open your mic, or if you want to put a comment in the chat, that would be fine. The way I understand it is that the shaman would use an object and to represent someone's disease, and they would transfer the energy from the person to that object, and then maybe they would burn it or do something. Oh, hello, Diane. We can't hear you. Your audio is not good. You don't have proper bandwidth or something. I have to mute you. Yeah, sorry. It's not working.
But I understood now. I understood. It's a little bit like the things you did with your tooth.
Yeah, sort of. You can imagine me taking the pain I feel in my tooth and transferring it to
another tooth.
You know, some object that's sitting in front of me, a piece of paper that has the word tooth on it or something. And then I crumple up the paper and burn it, and then that's gone. It's sort of the same idea. You transfer that plasma energy from the tooth, that excess energy, to an outside position. And if you can dissipate it into space, I suppose that's one way of doing it. but you can actually put it into an object and then deal with it in some way.
Yeah, but better idea than putting another tooth.
Yeah, well, it worked for
I'm
me.
gonna try this. I'm gonna try.
Just the fact that
No, your one, the one of
it worked for me simply because when I transferred that pain, I transferred that energy, call it, I like the idea of a plasma energy transfer from one tooth to the other side of my mouth to another tooth. It made me laugh because I realized the sort of the power that I had and the idea that you can do this. Well, then that means you could do that with anything. If you hurt your finger, you can transfer that pain to another part of the body that can handle it, and it doesn't overwhelm the nerves on that area that you're transferring it from. So you can dissipate pain, or you can either increase sensation or decrease sensation depending on the focusing of one's attention. So it's a pretty powerful tool in many ways, and you could take it, of course, to other levels as well. Like was mentioned, the way the Universal Council operates, when you operate from a soul level, you just place your attention on something and then give from the soul, and all the magic happens from there. You don't have to deal with the details because it all gets handled through that process, you might say.
Doug, again, another close, well, my brother actually was riding his motorcycle, and a car came from around a corner, and there was an accident, and he went up into the air and over the car and landed on the road, and to cut a long story short, had broken during that process. Both his wrists were shattered completely because they got caught in the mechanisms of the bike as he flew into the air. He went to the hospital by ambulance and was in the bone ward, as they called it, and the pain was absolutely excruciating, and there were people also in pain around him, and it was just full of pain, this ward. And he told me that he had to do a mental exercise just so he didn't go completely crazy with the pain. So he mentally took the pain and mentally created a box on the other side of the ward and mentally put the pain into the box and closed the lid. And, you know, that allowed him to spend the night in the hospital. And in the morning, he decided, I'm not going to stay here. And so they wouldn't let him out, but unless he signed a waiver to that effect that he was doing it on his own volition. So he, you know, held the pen in an awkward way and signed it and left the hospital. But that was, he said, most amazing experience, because he did transfer the pain out of his wrists and into this, call it imaginary box. And, you know, he's not the most plasmarized person in the world, my brother, but, you know, now that I think back, that's exactly what he did. He used the energy fields to get him through that very difficult, painful experience. And, you know, so it's innate within us that we have these powers and abilities far beyond our imagination. But, you know, it's only sometimes when we're in these really difficult situations that they come out and manifest, but they are always there. So, you know, if we can be aware of the fact that they're always within us, that these abilities and these powers, if you like, are there, then we can draw on them at any time we need. And so I just thought I'd share that, and thank you again, everybody.
And hence the blessing, may your troubles increase. Because then we get to exercise even more of those hidden powers that we have, and we can lift the bus off the, you know, the grandmother can lift the bus off the grandson that got, you know, run over or whatever. She has extraordinary energy in extraordinary circumstances. So if we place ourselves under those tough circumstances in our lives from day to day, or at least recognize that there is a hidden beauty in some of these tough circumstances, then perhaps that's one of the gems that are available in that kind of situation. We get to exercise some of our superpowers, you could say.
Yes, and ability is, for example, exactly what you said just now. So at the moment, what's happening is that when people are in difficulties, for example, when you are risking your life, then this power come out of the blue. So like you heard many times before, like, I don't know, mothers with babies trapped somewhere, and the mother had this enormous power that lift the car, not with one finger, but with two hands to save the children. You know, you hear this story, no? Or story of someone who have injured their leg, but suddenly there is a fire and they have to run from their life, and suddenly the legs go back working in seconds. Because these stories are we heard them many times. I'm sure you heard these stories as well. So even when you're injured, something happened to you that your life is at risk, your body, to make sure you save your life, it will in instant your legs will be repaired, you know, and this happened. So again, the function changes structure, or whatever happening around you, it will change the structures. That's why, to me, that's why Mr. Keshe said many times, you have to create condition to materialize what you want. So it's the reverse, no? So it's the environment around you that it will change the shape that you are. But we can do the other way around. So we can create condition to change the way we are. So that's why this it's where we're going into now. So now we got the announcement unit that we allowed us to gain more knowledge and faster. And we will come to a point where we're not just going to be able to just move around pain or back to life part of our body, like this gentleman who using his feet to do everything because he's got no arms. So we're going to be able to do things that are beyond our imagination. So we arrive to a point where we're not just going to transfer fields, but we're also going to build structure just through our thoughts. And I think that it's what's gonna be. We're gonna go into this direction. That's why it's very important to start to think out of the box and be creative and focus on the goods. I mean, it's true what Bridget said. Mr. Keshe always said it in the motion. You can always make the weakest point or the turn into the strength. Weakness can be turned into strength. So bad things can be, they got a learning lesson behind, like Bridget was said before. No? So So this is what we practice. I think what we're gonna practice, all of us, on you know, turn bad into good, and then transfer sensation, feelings up to a point that we be so much in control that we start to build stuff with our thoughts, or shape shifting ourselves, you know. But now we need to learn how to exercise, how to think out of the box. My sister, she's used to tell me, and now I'm thinking, oh, this is a good idea. She used to say to me, Stefania, just go to art exhibition or to museum or anything, because you can get inspired by Asians philosophy, you know, Asians culture, or futuristic, you know, people. When you go into museum, people usually tend to think out of the box, and you see them what they've been doing, and you think, oh wow, I never thought about that. But this where really I think is worth it to spend time now, to focus time on thinking out the box and be more aware about feelings and sensation, so you can recall them and move them, you know, and yes, stay in the now. Things that we said over and over, but eventually we're going to be able to do better and better.
Stefania, I'll ask you a question based on what Christopher says in the YouTube quite a bit earlier today, which refers to what you were just saying. From what I understand, the Universal Body Enhancement Unit is the shape of the universe. So we train for the conditions of space in there. So you were talking about getting out of the box, but in this case, we're out of the box and into the egg. And what do you think about that in terms of training for Mehran training? According to his statement, we train for the conditions of space in there.
Yes, because I think it's so true, because again, as we said before, no, just now, the environment, it will affect the way you think, the things you do. So I think having this machine available now that we never had before, you changing condition, because now that's why I think it's very important to meet up at exhibition, find a way to use that one as a meeting point where we can go there, because there it's where the machines are, and so where this plasma energy is. So of course, then you will be able to do like the MAGRAV, also not be where physically the things are, but then be connected to it even if you're away, you know, so all these things. But to start with, definitely I think is benefit to go into the exhibition. But yes, so you create condition, so then because of the condition, you're forced to function in a different way, and it's the function that changes structure, no? So the moment you're doing something a different way, of course, that will make a new structure. So I agree. So the machine is a way to change condition, and because they replicate the work of the universe, then when you work with this machine, then you are forced to work within that environment that will make you make different function of the one you usually do, and then the function is what will change the structure. So yes, so I think he's right. This is my understanding, definitely. By the way, yeah.
That's really good. Like, first thing, if you can imagine yourself getting into this small chamber, it'd be like getting into a closet, if you could refer to, you know, being in your home or something, or getting into a freezer, a refrigerator or something, some sort of small container. And there you are, and you're then cut off from all the influences on our attention that we normally have in the outside world or the visual things. You know, if you were in the exhibition hall, for example, there'd be lots of other things around that you'd be looking at, and people you might be interacting with and other things. You get inside that chamber and all of a sudden you're in your own world, and it's just you and very little else inside. It's a very clean environment other than some reactors that are positioned in certain places. There's not much in there to distract you, let's say. So then you're forced to deal with that environment. It becomes your attention, you know, goes out. What am I
Your reality,
interacting with?
become your reality.
Yeah, and you start to confront your own soul, because then there's nothing else to distract in that situation. You're able to have that freedom to come out of the cage, perhaps, and actually play.
It's like for example, what happened in the Mojan, and this is for me was very, very important. It's my personal experience. Of course, maybe every Mojan has different ones, of course. So what happened in the Mojan, the things that really struck me was, did you heard about the effortless Buddha? No, the things that struck me was similar to what you just said just now. So make the decision to be part of the Mojan and then be together for 2 months, whatever. I don't remember if it's 2 months, 2 months and a half. I can't remember how long we stayed together, but we stayed together for a long period of time. And then we didn't go back to our normal life. And we were just doing that 24/7. And it's a little bit like you said, entering the machine. So from something you were doing before, then you enter a new place, and you kind of, it's not like you cut off yourself. In the Mojan, we kind of just did that. So in one way, I think that it's what created condition. This is all my interpretation. So for me, it's because we were together for longer time, and we were working together every day, then that it became our reality. So the same what you were saying, when you go into the machine, then you're surrounded about what everything happened in that machine with fields. I now have to imagine it because I've never been to one before. So I'm just going to imagine what could be. And that one will somehow, without you doing anything, in an effortless way, things will come up to your head, or things you will see without you doing anything, or things will happen to you without you doing anything. So it's like effortless. When the things happening, they're happening effortless, and we kind of a flow. So I think it's less than hard work than we think is, because there will be, I just, if it's like happening in the Mojan, there is nothing you have to kind of think first to prepare or to get organized. You have the intention that one is, so for example, when Mr. Keshe said to us, tomorrow, tomorrow is the time you're gonna fly. So you see, he put a date, he put a time, like he does in the teaching. Like we got the 21st of March. So he put a date, he put a time, and then you kind of, I think that for me is creating condition. And that you just listen the information. If, for example, we will listen in the Mojan, we will listen Mr. Keshe talking to us, and then we will practice whatever we thought was the right thing. We didn't know if it was right or wrong. We just did our best and just kept going like that. And then things start to happen without us doing anything. We were maybe follow some strictly. There are certain things are fixed, like like we always said in the universe, certain things are fixed, like you cannot hurt others. You cannot do to somebody else what you don't want done to you, or the 5 pillar. That's why there are the 5 pillar. There are certain things that are fixed in the sense this is the law of the universe, but then but other things you have completely flexibility about it. And the fixed point to me are just like when you have a target, so you target certain things or certain areas. The fixed point for me are like just things where, like when you say to, I don't know how to say it actually. Let's see with this. But you got some certain fixed point, and then you got things where you go completely, absolutely freedom. And then that's it. And then as you stay on the fixed point. So, for example, have the same vision, have the good intention. When Mr. Keshe said the only things you need to have is going online with your thoughts, action, and feelings, and then you put your intention to it, and we're gonna reach to a point where just by doing this, you will manifest in your hands or physically. You will create things tangible. This will be so things are this simple, where you have to just be online with, even those are not that simple, but they're also very simple. So and then the things will happen on their own. So I don't believe that you have to have a training or a preparation. That's why he took the characteristic of the Mehran is that he took 4 people with no background. So any people, like it could be any of you, any of us. So it's not like he took he chose like a scientist or a doctor or someone who's got lots of experience. He just took 4 people. We had not much experience, not much background in space technology at all. But he wanted to show that if they can do it, everyone can do it. So that to me was the crucial things as well. So no preparation, no experience, it's a switch. This is my interpretation, so I may be wrong, but definitely the condition are creating conditions. That's why the machine is important. So you go inside the machine and then things will happen. We get connected between us because we got guns inside us, as we've been repeated over and over. I mean, Mr. Keshe was very clear in the Mehran. He always said that oh my God, I forgot what I wanted to say. Sorry, I said he always said gone. What I wanted to say, it just went. Sorry, I just went what I wanted to say. Can you remind me, please, Rick?
Well,
I went out of the blue. Don't worry. I completely forgot about it now. I don't know. It just went as I was saying. This is funny. But anyway, you choose 4 people, completely 4 normal people. So yeah, okay. We do now in a bigger scale. So we are all a big Mehran. And we all creating condition. Yeah, now I remember. Mr. Keshe has always said when we were in the Mehran that for him, he's here to teach us the soul, how the soul works. So even the enhancement unit, I see them just like a crutches, is a stepping stone, like the cup. They're just there to show you how everything works. And then when finally we get together somehow, it will click on us and we'll understand. I have to say, what I felt in the Mehran, this is my personal experience, even with the cups, even with the guns, is what we can do is so much superior. So much, just gone beyond of any guns, any plasma that we make it manually. The one that we have inside us, it just gone beyond, because the things that happened, and again I talk about personal experience, the things that happen in the Mehran for me I never had with any other way. even when I went into the health unit, I just felt the feelings of what we had in the motion, but it was never quite like when we were in the motion. And when we were in the motion, we didn't use any tool, any reactor. We just us connecting and doing the star formation between us, and listen Mr. Keshe teaching. It was very simple, but the things we achieve, and I wouldn't even know how to repeat it. For me, it was beyond to anything I ever felt with anything I've done in my life. That's why this, again, for me, as my personal experience, for me, the motion is the most mind-blowing experience I ever had. So that's why when Mr. Keshe said that when we're gonna learn what the announcement unit do, and when we're gonna learn more about the fields and not worry so much about the guns any longer, it's just gonna be beyond our imagination, because really it's like this. We are the Ferrari. I mean, that was my learning of the motion. It's just so beyond, but we have to kind of get somehow get the spark going, or that click. It's all about, I think, the starting things. Then once somehow we get this thing started, it's already started, of course, and maybe we're not even aware that it's already started. But when we start to really all be aware that something has started, and when we're going to be all aware, then actually we are, the things that are different. Because to me, we'll arrive to a point where that will be the reality, and this will be an illusion. We're going to swap the things around. I don't know if when, or if we're doing it, or it's already done, but somehow one day we're going to be all full aware of it. And that would be super easy. So I really think it's easier than we think is, simpler than we think is. And we just keep going and have this trust, because it will be like stepping in the void, because we got all this fear about death. But then when you know that death is illusion and the fear is illusion. So when Mr. Keshe asked us to fly, the only reason why I stopped everything is because I had fear. But because I was perceiving like step into the void, now if this will happen again, I will perceive it like going back home, not step into the void. Because as I said, I think last time, this is all you, so you cannot be afraid of you. We're going back home, we go back to us, to you, no? So just I think it's a matter of take off this fear and to have this full trust. And I know this comes with unconditional giving. Yeah, finish. Sorry.
Beautiful, Stefania, beautiful. I've always thought of our true nature as being the voidness of the void. Okay, so very
What
nice.
did you say just now?
I've thought of our true nature as being the voidness of the void. That voidness is our nature, is our true nature. That's where all creation starts from, that voidness, that big black hole in the middle. And that's where all the light comes from, in a way. And that's where all the creations come from that pre-creation,
because we got this
before creation.
Because we got this brainwash of being separated, us and them, or you and whatever it is, when if you think we're all one. So because I had that fear, I remember it was like this engine started and I was not in control of it. Something has started, and I knew that I have to come to a point where I had to let go. And if I would have let go, I wouldn't know what was going to happen next, just because I've never been in that position before. But I think because I had fears, the main reason why I had fear because I was separating myself from whatever was happening. But if we include this oneness, then the fear disappear because I cannot have a fear of myself. You know, there is nothing to be fear. But somehow I separate myself from what were happening, and I stop everything.
Yes, interesting.
My
It's
mind.
kind of the dilemma of this planet is as soon as we find ourselves being an individual, then we end up being in some kind of pain or suffering or feeling pain and suffering for others and for the things in the environment and so on. But if we can elevate ourselves to be at one with everything, then we either don't feel that pain and suffering, at least not in the same way. And, you know, we feel joy, basically. And it doesn't depend on the circumstances. You just feel joy. You could be in the middle of a war zone, but still feel joy and impart that joy to others and to help others and to be of service and so on. Not an easy position to hold, though, because, like you say, Stefan, you're in the unknown, and it's not like you just step in and then it's all easy after that. It's from one moment to the next, it's unknown. You have to learn to adapt to the unknown.
So,
Yeah, Mr.
Brigitte, I think Brigitte wants to say something here.
only short. What, Stefania? No? Okay.
I was just saying, I was saying that Keshe, he only said this as well. If you can manage to do this switch easily with no fear, then you will be able to swap from, you know, from, I suppose, from 1 to 10. And in one side you got the plasma, and the other side you got state. And at the moment we're learning how to switch between one state to another, no? And because up to now we didn't know that we had the full spectrum of possibility. So now that we gain the full knowledge, we know we can switch from one state to another. But he said if you do it with no fear at the very beginning, it will be very easy for you. Once you make the jump, then it will be easy for you to come, you know, to come from the soul state to the physical soul, and you just be very easy. He said up to a point that you can go inside to, I don't know, a bathroom and materialize, and then, you know, materialize again, come out and go and shop in the supermarket. So if we're gonna get to this point where it will be daily normal things to do, but he said if you can do it from the very beginning, that would be the easy way. Because if you have fear, so for example, because like me, for example, I stopped and because I had fear, then he thinks it will be very difficult to replicate that again because you had these fears. In my case, I'm really want to know. I'm gonna do my best to you know make this switch. But for you guys, you never, some of you maybe never done it before, or some of you maybe have done it, lucky. But who does? Majority of us maybe didn't do it. I really recommend you to prepare you. So prepare you means also, you know, grow this trust. This trust, I suppose, come with also knowledge and sharing and be connected, whatever. But that preparation is very fundamental for when this moment will come. You know, and then you will have, you know, we'll have to make this switch. So this is my suggestion of what to you, of what Mr. Keshe taught us. Sorry, Bridget. Yeah, you can.
said, sorry.
So, Stefania, no problem. It's so beautiful listening to you. So, only one thought. We have the whole life to learn and to learn again and again. And life is happening to remember who we are. And this is happening every day. And here in this community, so there is an amazing chance to learn faster. And yes, that's absolutely wonderful and amazing for me being here with you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other comments or questions? And is there anything else from the Universal Council?
Hi, this is Marie. We are finished with our presentation. So if there are not any more questions, then, you know, we might close the session. And thank you for everyone who participated.
Yes, it was great getting all the different perspectives today. I think we touched on some important topics. Okay, well, I suggest we wrap it up for today. We're coming up in nearly 3 hours here, and it's been a good show. So let me get the... Okay, if there's nothing else, then I would suggest thank you everybody for attending today's 140th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. That is 10/20/2020 actually today, which is interesting. And we have the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group coming up Wednesday at 7 a.m., starting 7 a.m. Central European Time. And we also have, of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, the usual 9 a.m. Central European Time for this coming Thursday. The Thursday after that, we'll have a special time of 2 p.m. for starting time, but we'll announce that next week. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks, everybody. Great show, and we'll see you next time around. Bye for now.